I watched Federer vs Nadal at the 2010 ATP Finals for the first time.
Oh, what a shot that is. Oh, what a return that was. Beautifully done.
In these videos, I select a famous or considered great match fairly relevant to the part of the season we're in that I have never seen in full before, giving my reaction and a somewhat brief analysis. "29 years old. Oof, you're ancient, Roger." It must be so distracting having them list off all your achievements as you're warming up. Like, yes guys, I know, I'm amazing. A backhand winner already. We're not in 2017, Roger. Not quite a cleanly hit neo backhand, but it'll do. A nice clean start to the game overall though. Back to the neo backhand though. This is 2010, so way before his change of racket. It's weird to see Rafa with such long shorts on. Like, I'm so used to seeing him with skin tight, especially when sweaty, shorts on, riding on up his legs higher and higher. Also, it's good to see some hair on his head. Federer doing his best to get the serve onto his forehand so he can start off in a dominant position, but Rafa's serve is just a little too much to start off with here, really cutting round it, getting it out of the reach of a controlled Federer forehand. Nice, going back on himself, taking advantage of Rafa's early game strategy versus Fed, of running around every backhand to hit a nice high, looping forehand to his backhand. Easy game so far for the pair. That's one of the things that has prevented Rafa from doing as well as he has done everywhere else at the ATP Finals, indoor courts and very fast courts. If you can hit a nice, deep ground stroke back to Rafa's forehand, causing him to literally just flick his wrist as he doesn't have the time to set up properly, his return is going to be short and nice and high, allowing, as Federer did, to attack and come in. Okay, hello. He's like, you have no business here, my friend. Attack my backhand, I dare you. Pretty much, if he hits his spots, he wins the point, especially out wide on the deuce court. I am loving that backhand at the moment, confident down the line, just giving Rafa a pattern to work with, but drawing him out of the forehand side and then letting it rip cross court. I'm sorry? He created that from nothing. And as the graphic said, serve out wide to the deuce court. That's the one. Rafa's forehand is going all over the place this game. A shank, two very short in a rally he did eventually win, and another into the net. If Fed has confidence, trusts that backhand, timing it well and is aggressive, he can own Nadal. We saw that in 2017. I would really have liked to have seen a prime 2017 Fed versus Nadal on clay. I'm sure Rafa would still have won, but I think it would be interesting to see what he would have done with this reliable tactic of his, bully that backhand, not work so well that year.
Barry, would you say Rafa's looking a little sluggish by his own remarkable standards?
Well, Marcus, I think that's a great question. The first 6 games, both players were holding serve comfortably, but Federer was getting a lot of reward with that forehand. And now he's taking it very early. He's rushing Nadal, and I was wondering, well, is it Federer's forehand, or is Nadal just off his very best? And I was down this end with Rafa where he lost serve, and it was very noticeable, Marcus, that he was playing further back behind the baseline than he has in the previous meetings when he's troubled Roger. So that's what he needs to address at the beginning of the second set. As for Federer, his backhand is beautiful, whether it be down the line or a couple of stunning ones cross-court.
Defeating the big 3 or 4 is a difficult feat. Only a few players have managed it, with even fewer managing multiple wins in a single tournament. Only twice has a member of this legendary group defeated the others in a single tournament themselves. Nadal in Hamburg 2008 and Federer at the ATP Finals 2010. What do you remember from 11 years ago? If this isn't your cup of tea, check out my video on Emma Raducanu, or perhaps where Federer went wrong in the 2019 Wimbledon final, and also why serve and volley died out. 2010 was just one of those years. Andy Murray was just starting to properly make waves on the tour, making his second major final in Australia and another semi at Wimbledon. Djokovic was a consistent force and yet failed to win another major or Masters title, the following year winning 8 of the 13 available. And at the very top, soon to be toppled by the aforementioned Serb, was still Fed and Rafa, with Federer capturing the title down under and yet still having a pretty disappointing year by his previously high standards. Meanwhile, Rafa was unstoppable for the second and last time as of yet, winning all 3 clay Masters events, building up to his 5th Roland Garros title and first of 3 majors that year, the most dominant he's ever been, recapturing the number 1 ranking from his Swiss rival midway through the year, all leading up to the final match, the world number 1 versus the world number 2. In the final of the ATP Finals, the one big title Rafa is yet to win. I completely agree. His usual tactic is not working with Federer's backhand as good as it is right now. He needs to open up that court more, engage the angles and get on the front foot, preventing Fed's aggressiveness. This is interesting. He's still trying to run around that backhand, which I guess is a result of Nadal trying to push him into that corner, but he's doing very well with it. Woo! Very nice. A dip of level on his serve there, his first serve not going in. Starting to draw him out on his forehand side a bit more now. Followed by some short forehands again, allowing Fed to stay aggressive with his backhand. Federer's first serve percentage has absolutely deserted him. He began moving before the ball had even reached its peak. Great footwork. Some very nice angles from both of them. Just a momentary dip for Roger. That first serve is back up and running, which is important as we near a third set, whilst Rafa just takes it easy, not wanting to expend too much energy. Ooh, he knew exactly where it was going. That's gonna be costly.
Well, we have spoken at times this week about the perceived mental fragility that Roger Federer has occasionally displayed when matches have got tight.
Yeah, just wait 9 years. Rafa's serving stats are incredibly good. Meanwhile, Federer's hitting nowhere near as many winners as he was before. Rafa came out in that second set with far more aggression, and it just took one little dip on serve for him to take control of the entire set. Yes, please. Yeah, far more aggressive, really looking to step in. Something I feel like I've noticed this match is that Rafa's being a little lazy. That's not a word ever used for Rafa, but he's not been even trying to go after some balls, more often than usual, and he also played a very tight match versus Murray in the semis, I believe, so it's probably fatigue, but it's unusual. I retract everything I just said. Brutal hitting from the Spaniard. Federer is doing well with that backhand. I wish he'd just trust it a little more and not run around it, opening up the forehand side for attack. He's certainly fixed those service issues now. His first serve and cross-court backhand really is what has separated himself from Rafa in the first and third sets. What did I say? Beautiful.
The CV looks as though it's going to get enhanced for Roger Federer. For Nadal, it looks as though it's going to be another year-long wait for a chance to win the only major title he hasn't got his hands on yet.
Something he'll never get, you mean? And that's that. Federer ultimately was far more aggressive than Rafa, confident on his backhand, serving well, especially out wide. Meanwhile, Rafa was fatigued at times, not able to deal with Federer's angles, and simply lost momentum after he dropped serve in the third set. After a fantastic year, truly the first he dominated alone, it was just too much for Rafa. If you like this style of content, check out my first time watching Federer and Djokovic's first ever match in Monte Carlo 2006. It's truly fascinating seeing the evolving style and games of these legends. With that said, tell me down below what matches you want me to react to and see for the first time, and don't forget to subscribe.